Yeah, very much so. It's a date that we'd all been hoping for. It had never been promised, to be fair, but it was a date that we'd all been hoping for. And in fact, going back to my first term in the department, sort of after the last election, and then taking on those meetings with those involved, we were working towards. In fact, we were certainly working towards last year's TT, and then that became apparent fairly quickly it wasn't going to happen. So we really hoped this year's TT, it would be up and running. But this get obviously for operational reasons have decided they need to they're still doing trials and things, so they won't be ready to use it before TT. And even if they were now close for them to get everything sorted and to be open and to get the road signs up, to get the bus company across in Liverpool, pick up passengers and things. So yeah, it's really, really disappointing from our point of view.
So that's all still left to go. Of course, one thing missing from the press release was that opening day. No official date yet. Are you reticent to even give a benchmark at this stage?
It's not down to us now, Lewis. We're ready to go. If you like, the building is done. Say it's an operational matter for Steam Packet to say when they're happy for it to use it, if you like, and then they've got all their staffing in place and everything's ready to go from their point of view. But as far as we're concerned now, the department, we're ready for the building to be used and the landing stage to be used.
Now, it has been some time since we heard any kind of update on this matter. In terms of cost, and as these berthing trials are going on, is the cost increasing? Is it above that plus 70 million figure mark that we've heard before?
We're still, excuse me, we're still working on the same figures. We haven't had any updated figures recently, so we're still working on the same figures that you probably had last time. And don't ask me to remember what that was because I can't remember. But we certainly haven't had any increases passed on to us. Obviously, we're coming to the end of the project, and things are going to have to be tidied up between us and the contractors and everybody else. So hopefully over the next sort of few months, if you like, those figures will become far clearer.
Have you been able to visit the site yourself, or anybody from the DOI for that matter, been down? You say the building's ready. What does it look like?
Had a very, very long day yesterday, Lewis. We were up at 5 o'clock to catch the early morning boat. As you know, it was leaving a little bit early and it came back late. So we were up at 5. We got home at nearly 1 o'clock. And we had a really good visit to the ferry terminal yesterday. Yep. And it's looking really good, just sitting there now, ready to be used.
And so, having that glance, how does it compare to the other site on Pier Head?
Different world, absolutely different world. From the time you enter, driving in, or from the passengers, they come in on the bus, or from taxis, or walk in, whichever way foot passengers decide to come in. But it's completely different. There's far more space. It's just it's much better. The facilities inside, from checking in to the cafe when that's up and running and things in there, and then actually getting onto the boat should also be so much slicker and all sorts of things. It's completely different.
I suppose when you went across yesterday, you were hoping to kind of cut the ribbon and welcome the first passengers, were you?
Well, months and months ago, that would have been a vision that we would have all liked to have had, but it's not to be. But as far as we're concerned now, from the department's point of view, we're just waiting now for the Steam Packet to say they're ready to go and move in and get the first passengers and the first boat over there.
You mentioned there's a bit of signage to go up around the site. How long do you estimate that will take once the Steam Packet does give you the go-ahead?
Yeah, well, it's not signage, but it's things like just out on the roads pointing to the sea terminal, because obviously the ferry terminal obviously is going to move, but it won't be too much, because actually you can drive into the old ferry terminal and then just drive up along the quayside, and there's literally, I think, a couple of left-hand bend, 2 lefts, I think, or 3 left-hand turns, and you end up back at the new ferry terminal. So it's not that hard, but there's another way of doing it as you come in off the main road as well as you approach into Liverpool in the Docklands area. So it should be easy to do. And I say Liverpool Council have said they will put on a bus, which they will do. But we need that date to say to Liverpool Council, this is the date the first boat's coming in, so they can then organise it. Because obviously, they've got to arrange for that to happen and to advertise it.
So quite a lot hanging on the Steam Packet's word at the moment. What's communication like between the DOI and the Steam Packet? And have they given any indication as to when they might be ready to go? Is it weeks, months?
I'm hoping it'll be very soon. I think they've got the last, very shortly after TT, they've got, I'm hoping, they've got their last berthing trials, as far as we know, coming up. I think it's the 15th or the 17th, so just after TT. And if all goes well there, then obviously they're leaving it over TT. So I would hopefully take a week or two after TT. So that would put us sort of towards the middle of June, somewhere around about the 20th. I don't know what days those are, but we're in the hands of the steam packet to decide that. That's their decision, as and when they're absolutely ready to go, move from the old terminal.
Thank you for making it to the end of the Little Manx Radio newscast. You are obviously someone with exquisite taste. May I politely suggest you might want to subscribe to this and a wide range of Manx Radio podcasts at your favourite podcast provider, so our best bits will magically appear on your smartphone. Thank you.